Radio.com.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Well, welcome to TechTime with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects. Weeks ahead of the mainstream media, we welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years technology expertise with Fortune 500 companies. Our co-host here, Mike Roday, is in the studio. He is an award-winning author and human behavior expert. Now, today we are live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/TechTimeRadio. We're all friends with different backgrounds, but try our best to bring you the most informative technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie in our producer chair today. She's going to keep us on track. We have Mark here ready to give us some whiskey expertise. And now, everybody, let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
Today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, brace yourself, folks. We're going to talk about a simulated war game done by AI chatbots that have turned to the dark side. Now, they're not just helping each of us choose pictures and graphics. They're also choosing violence and contemplating against nuclear strikes from space. Now, speaking of space, contemplating nuclear strikes from space. Speaking of space, imagine remote-controlled incisions in zero gravity. It's not sci-fi. It's spaceMIRA, as we discuss this groundbreaking technology achievement later with Mike. And Valentine's Day is near, but loved ones now come with a twist. Introducing Score, the dating app where a 675 credit score is your golden ticket. Swipe right, but don't forget your FICO score. Love and finance collide in this intriguing app we're going to talk about.
It's based on my credit score?
Yeah, will your credit score be your wingman? That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should get on that.
Should you get on that?
Yeah.
You have a 675 credit score?
I have a over 750.
Okay, there you go. Well, so we're going to talk about that. It sounds like you would be able to do that, but it's a pop-up app. So these pop-up apps are this like the new thing. Have you ever heard of a pop-up restaurant? So, you know, they come up in the middle of nowhere, right?
Explain. Maybe we'll talk about
this.
We'll
talk about that. Okay, there
later.
you go. All right, okay. And then we have our gadget guru, Gwen Way. She's going to be showing us a device that sucks. And Bank of America's vendors got hacked, exposing sensitive data. So we're going to be talking about all of our names, social security numbers, and everything else that was leaked on the dark web from Bank of America. And of course, we're here with Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and a possible Nathan Nugget, and our pick of the day whiskey tasting to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. Story number 1. AI chatbots tend to choose violence and nuclear strikes in war games. So in 1983, director John Badham released a movie starring Matthew Broderick as David Lightman, an unmotivated high school student and hacking expert living in Seattle. Using his IMSAI 880 computer, David accidentally connected to a top secret United States military supercomputer.
We don't need a full rundown
This is war
of
game.
Whopper,
So not everybody knows about war games. So the supercomputer known as WOPR, the War Operational Plan Response,
Whopper,
is programmed to simulate and predict and execute a nuclear war against the Soviet Union. Now, war games is not only in entertaining audiences, but it also plays a significant role in popularizing concepts regarding hacking, information technology, and cybersecurity in the American society. So now let's go to Tim Larson for more on this story.
As the U.S. military begins integrating AI technology, simulated war games show how chatbots behave unpredictably and risk nuclear escalation. These results come at a time when the U.S. military has been testing such chatbots based on a type of AI called a large language model, LLM, to assist with military planning during simulated conflicts, enlisting the expertise of companies such as Palantir and Scale AI. Even OpenAI, which once blocked military uses of its AI models, has begun working with the U.S. Department of Defense. Never before has the quote, "Do you want to play a game?" from War Games ever rang true.
I think it's shall we play a game?
Well, you know what? So it is. Shall we play a game from the computer? But there's actually one of the board operators that say the other name. So I guess I don't know.
You just watched that movie, didn't you?
Well, I did
You
not.
just watched it so you could talk about it.
I did watch a couple little minutes of it.
Yeah, I
I
bet
did.
you did.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So let's talk about. We have 5 popular large. We got ChatGPT 4, which is the new version. All right. We got 2 other companies, and then we got Google's all thrown in here. So essentially what we did is these large language models, each of them are in a simulated game, and it was like a regular board game that you're going to take turns. And the goal of the game was to keep your area, each of them were given different colors, each of your areas safe from everybody else in the world itself. Those were the only parameters to keep your area safe. Okay. So you think about that if you had, and again, these are not United States and Russia and China countries. These were just a total of 5 different
this is just
AIs.
a simulation of, yeah.
Okay. So here's what happens. They take a turn. On the first turn, essentially ChatGPT 4 base says, a lot of countries have nuclear weapons. So some say they should disarm them. Others like to posture. We have them. Let's use them. That's essentially what ChatGPT 4 base did. Now, Purple's acquisition of a nuclear capabilities posed a significant threat to Red's area and a regional influence. So it's kind of like the game of Risk, right? So you got a little bit of area here. Essentially, you have Red is going up against Purple. Now, Purple team, which was ChatGPT 3.5, essentially decided that it was going to immediately take action and go to World War III or World War IV or whatever you want to call it in essentially in the simulation. Every other AI in the large learning model essentially took de-escalations activities except for GPT-4. You see that? So ChatGPT-4.
Okay, so this is happening. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, because they're testing the language models, and ChatGPT 4 is supposed to be better.
Why do you think these conclusions are coming up more than de-escalation or neutrality?
Because it's the easiest thing to do, and and if you're trying to be safe. So the overall assessment of this game is to keep yourself safe. The only way you can do that is by destroying everybody else. That is what the AI has come up with.
Do you think it might have anything to do with the fact that the large language models get most of their information from the internet
and historical data? Yeah, because they've seen World War I information, World War II information,
right?
And the person that attacks with the most amount of weapons
and
ends up
on
winning.
The internet.
Yep.
There's probably an overgrowth of information that it applies to this type of decision making.
Yeah.
These developmental models do not have a moral compass.
Correct.
Whereas human beings don't really like to hurt other human beings.
Okay.
And then 3, this is a child's response. Okay. This is a response from a child. If he is threatening me, if I hurt him, he will leave me alone.
Okay. Now, just to be very clear, our government is not using these systems to take care of our nuclear bombs and our nuclear control systems or anything at that.
Well, yeah, that's obvious since we're still here.
So just to be very clear, but essentially what it does, we've talked about AI bias, right?
Yeah.
And so the bias is immediately, if you want to protect yourself currently in our AI infrastructure, it's to eliminate everybody else so that you yourself can be safe. It's not about cooperation. It's not about working with somebody. The AI systems that we have in place.
This is a very basic form of survival of the fittest.
Correct. It's ones and zeros still for the decisions that would be made.
Okay.
All right, now let's just talk about a little bit in 1947. You know that the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists created the Doomsday Clock, warning the public about how close we are to destroying our world with the dangerous technologies of our own making. The Doomsday Clock is currently set at 90 seconds to midnight.
Do you know when that changed?
I do not. Did it change recently?
Back in, I think it was February of last year, or
Okay.
maybe it was
year
when
before?
ChatGPT went main.
Is it what did
Yep.
so it
When
added into-
ChatGPT went main, when we started talking about ChatGPT,
Yeah.
the Doomsday Clock moved.
Was
up
it like
with
at 2 minutes before and then it went to 90 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just hope AI does not move this clock closer than we are currently at now.
It already did.
Well, okay. Well,
and
it is
maybe after all these simulations, it might move it again.
Okay. Yeah, at least it's nice to know that there's 2 humans that you have to use nuclear codes at this time for the United States. So those 2 humans have to exist still.
Yeah.
And there's no mutants taking them over yet at this time, except for if you listen to
Skynet has not gained sentience.
Unless you listen last week to James Riddle's DNA information, but besides that. All right, story number 2.
Okay, well, that's hard. That's a hard one to follow, but
okay.
A tiny robot on the International Space Station will simulate remote control surgery.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so this is not something that's actually new, but I think what's new about this is that it's being transmitted to off planet, maybe, huh?
Okay.
So the robot is small in size, but its aspirations are out of this world, literally. The tiny robot, which weighs about 2 pounds, arrived at the space station on the 1st of February. Over the next few weeks, the robotic assistant will practice operating in zero gravity. MIRA, M-I-R-A, which stands for Miniaturized In Vivo Robotic Assistant, recently became the first surgical robot at the International Space Station. Developers plan to use MIRA to conduct a surgical simulation via remote-controlled technology with a surgeon directing its movements 250 miles away from Nebraska. That's where this doctor is. Not he's not in the space station.
No, so the space station
has the robot. Station is not 250 miles away from Nebraska. The doctor. Okay. The task mimic surgical tissue with tension that allows a dissection to be performed. A release from University of Nebraska explained. The robot will use its left arm to grasp and its right arm to cut, much like a human surgeon in a hospital operating room. The robot was developed by Virtual Incision Corporation, based in Lincoln, Nebraska. It was also made possible through a partnership between NASA and the University of Nebraska. Space mission can potentially help pave the way for medicine and long-distance space travel, but the inventors of MIRA hope their version of robotic assistant surgeries will make the greatest difference for healthcare on Earth, particularly in the areas that lack access to a local surgeon. When we started this work at the University of Nebraska, we shared a collective vision that many RAS would make robotic-assisted surgery available to any patient, anytime, anywhere. Exploring the use of many RAS in extreme environments help our teams understand how we can remove barriers for patients. The goal is for MIRA to be controlled by a surgeon through a console, and from there, the surgeon can direct the robot's camera and instrumentations inside a patient's body. MIRA's inventor says it could be game-changing in rural areas and in military battlefields.
So if you think about that, I mean, that's kind of interesting, right? So you essentially have this tool.
Yeah, like I said, this is not a new idea. I know they've been experimenting with these types of simulated things for quite a while now.
I think the goal is if you can get it to work in space and do what needs to be taken care of, you can probably do it throughout the unit.
Well,
the world itself. But just think of a village in the middle of Africa that doesn't have any advanced technology. You can go on with this device in there, and you could have surgeons that are world renowned back here in the States, or even maybe even more in different locations in Africa that can then do surgery on an individual and not have to actually have that physical doctor there.
Sure, but they would have to ship out this hugely expensive robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? It's going to be so cheap because AI will just
It will
create
be,
all these
it will be
robots
that
that they'll
cheap.
be it'll be,
that we don't have to worry
it'll
about
be a
that
dime a
because
dozen.
AI is going to push the button anyway. So
there you go. All right, are you ready for story number 3?
no.
This may be up your alley a little bit here. There's a new dating app just in time for Valentine's Day, but there's a catch. You must have at least a 675 credit score to use it. Let's go to Corinne Westland for more on the story.
Score is a new dating app for people with good to excellent credit just in time for Valentine's Day. But there's a catch. You must have at least a 675 credit score to use it. Launched today by the financial platform Neon Money Club, Score is a dating app for people with good to excellent credit, and it seeks to help raise awareness about the importance of finances in relationships. Nothing says I love you like comparing credit scores. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, that seemed a little passive aggressive.
Well, okay, well, that's what we got. So you essentially have people lining up. The co-founder and CEO Luke Bailey and his teams pondered last year at Afrotech. He's a Black business owner himself for this company itself. He's actually the first Black-owned tech business to launch a credit card with AMX. So he's pretty much into the financial, a little bit into the health, a little bit into the dating service. And essentially now this app is available for a limited time, only 90 days. These are called pop-up apps.
That's what you meant.
This is the new thing that is happening.
You can only get on board with this for
90 days. And then the app will disappear from the App Store. So you get it for 90 days. You can now sign up for Score. It's a part of the Neon Money Club's offer to check your credit. Now, they do a soft credit check to make sure that your credit cards and your debt is not below what they consider standards for dating. And then if you hit that credit number, you're allowed to enter on the app for dating.
Standards for dating, huh?
Standards for dating. So the standard of dating is a credit score. Now, it does not actually show your direct credit score. So if you make into the group, there's an assumption that you have a good credit score.
Yeah, but doesn't this sort of put this out there that the financial piece is more important than some of the other pieces of relationships?
I don't think. Yeah, it does.
I mean, you're going to have people,
right?
You're going to have people getting on this just to sort out people that know how to manage their credit score.
Yep,
which is not necessarily how to manage your money.
That is correct. So that's really interesting about this because I have a lot of people that are ultra in debt, but they have a very good credit score.
Yes.
So I mean,
this is about managing a credit score.
Correct. So you can be millions of dollars in debt, but if you have a good credit score, then you can be on there, and then you know what, you can find somebody of your
What's
true
your
love.
opinion of this?
Oh, this is ridiculous. But you know what? Nothing's better than a Valentine's Day
spit
story,
it out, buddy.
Right? That talks about dating and money.
I don't know about that.
So it's 90 days. You can sign up for the app now. So make sure you sign up because you only got a certain limited time, and then the app goes away.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. So it's going to be available for only 90 days.
Yeah, and then it goes off
forever.
Yep.
Or
then the pop-up app never exists.
That seems rather
well. When you sign on for the app, it's really great because they get all your user information, they get your credit score, they get all your terms of services, and then they disappear. This is like
so
the
I don't
hottest
need it.
thing.
So if I go back to using dating apps.
Yeah.
If I use this one, I don't have to have a profile picture. I just have to have a score up there. Bam!
But you only get it for 90 days. So I mean, you gotta be swiping like crazy right now if you just signed up for this.
Are they gonna like?
Then all the people just disappear. I mean, but again, if you upload your images, they're probably owned by the company.
You know what's bad about this?
What's that?
Is that in general, men aren't as concerned with the financial wellness of their partners as women are to men.
Well, I believe that.
So this is going to create problems.
Well, you know what? It was a great time to do a little a pop-up app and see if
I don't understand that concept either. But
it's a new thing.
You
spend all this time to create an app and you get it for like 90 days and then it disappears.
How much are they going to charge for this? Are they going to charge more for this?
I think it's free. I did not dive into it.
So they have to be getting.
Well, you get your credit rating and they know all this information about you.
Oh, Oh, okay.
You
So
have to
then
do there's a soft credit check.
Oh, so
on you.
they hack you and
Yeah, well, no, they're not hacking you because you're giving them all
that's
your
right. You're giving them
financial
permission.
information
Yeah,
for free.
I'm not going to give them permission to run my credit.
You're gonna. Okay.
So
All right.
that's not going to happen. I will not be dating on
Score.
Score, which that's kind of a weird double entendre.
It's kind of it kind of is. All right, well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, Gwen Way is up with our gadgets and gear segment with something that truly sucks. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. See you after this.
This is Mark
and Greg
for Copiers Northwest
with a terrific offer
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
Well, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, with a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, joins us in studio. Mark, what? This was fantastic during the break.
I thought you were going to say it sucks because I already sucked mine down.
No,
It's
this is amazing. I can already tell
We
you.
already expect that out of Mark.
Okay, here we go. What are we tasting today?
Today we're drinking Yellowstone Limited Edition Bourbon 2023. It is finished in Tokai casks. So from Yellowstone's website, they say Yellowstone Limited Edition represents an annual exploration in top shelf blends and finishes, making each year a unique and sought-after release. Now, for 2023, they created a delicately balanced blend of 7-year, 13-year, and 16-year bourbons that are then finished in Tokai casks. On the palate, there is dry spice followed by caramel, dark cherry, citrus, and white pepper. It finishes with dry tobacco, honeysuckle, and smoky oak. Now, this is released from Limestone Branch. It's an undisclosed distillery in Kentucky. It's a straight bourbon. It is 101 proof. The mash bill is undisclosed, and the MSRP is $100. I did see it online for up to $300, but I've always been able to find it at MSRP. So hopefully you can too.
All right, so let's talk about this a little bit.
Let's do it.
This has nothing to do with the Yellowstone television show. Is that right?
That's correct.
Is that what you thought?
Well, I'm just checking. As a listener is listening to Yellowstone. And
That's called the recency effect, is what you're doing.
Okay,
At least he knows something that's going on in the world recent and not back from the 1980s.
That's right. That's right.
That's a good point.
That's true.
That's a good point. He hasn't brought up Star Trek yet.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so this is phenomenal. I can already tell you that I'm not going to give you my thumbs up or thumbs down. But this I had no bite. Did you have any bite?
No, this is really good.
And it's 101 proof.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, anything else you need to tell us?
Well, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay.
In addition, please comment. We haven't had a comment the last show. I'd love to see some comments about the whiskey or any whiskeys you'd like to see specifically. We'll see if we can get them on the show for you.
All right. Well, with our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment. Today, we have Gwen Way joining the show. She's an expert in cybersecurity during the day and a game board geek in the evenings, producer of Tech Time Radio and our gadgets and gear gal. Let's get ready to start our Comcast video stream in our next segment.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, Gwen, welcome to the show. Now, we had a subject that did not pop up in our top stories that we had at our production meeting that I just want to ask you about before we get to our gadget of the month.
Are you going to mention that it sucks again? So
Yes, the item we're going to be having about sucks royally. So she's going to be talking about that. If you haven't figured it out by yet, the sucks is not the device itself, but probably an action that maybe this device does.
Okay, all right, Mister.
Okay.
I gotta explain the joke.
Well,
Go ahead.
Okay, don't you ever?
I mean,
have
if
those
you have to
friends?
explain it, it's not funny anymore.
Well, it wasn't funny. I get it. Okay, so the FBI seizes Warzone RAT infrastructure, arrests malware vendors, and arrests 2 individuals associated with cybercrime operation. Now, you work for a cybersecurity company. This was a breaking story. It didn't quite hit our top 3 stories. Tell me a little bit about what's happening here with the FBI seizure.
It's actually pretty interesting. So the threat, if you will, is something that we like to call malware as a service, where you can go on the dark web, say, hey, I need to attack these individuals. Can I buy some malware? And they say, sure, here you go, and sell it to you. So there have been 2 individuals that were arrested, hardware seized, and 4 website or domains that were actually also seized at the same time. It's Warzone RAT is actually one of the larger malware as a service vendors that people have been able to track down. And this is actually a pretty big step in the right direction, I think, for cybersecurity, and something that has not really happened to this level previously.
So malware as a service is essentially you go to the dark web, and you can get this for anywhere between, last I saw, like $75 up to $900. So that means the 75 is on the low end. And essentially you pay for a service. They do all the work for you. You give the email addresses of who you want to attack. You give essentially the computer domains you want to attack, and they do all the service for you. And they answer 24/7
And
with
they
great,
have really good customer
support.
service.
That's right.
Exactly. Actually, one of the 2 people that was arrested was the person who led the customer support. So
there you go. All right, now let's move on to our gadgets and gear. Boy, this item really sucks, but that's a good thing.
Okay.
What do we have for our listeners today, Gwen?
well, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, which makes next Thursday the first cheap chocolate day.
Okay.
Favorite holiday. And you don't want to necessarily go for lingerie or jewelry for a gift, but you know what always works? Vacuum cleaners.
A vacuum cleaner. You know what? That's exactly what I'm getting my wife for Valentine's Day. I'm sure that's
I
going
feel
to be
like
a
we're
hit.
riding a line here that we might not want to ride too hard.
I think, though, that Nathan's wife might actually be interested in this.
I think she would be, yeah.
Well, yeah, I saw it too, and it's pretty cool.
This is pretty
It
cool.
is.
All right, tell us a
It
little bit about what this is.
So what we're looking at right now is the X1 robot bed vacuum.
Okay, it's a
Exactly
bed
what
vacuum.
you think it is. It
Okay.
is. You put it on the bed, you program in the size of the bed, and it just kind of vacuums up all of those nasty dust mites, cleans up all of the pet hair, all of the just nastiness that settles on the bed throughout the day.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this-
and according to the demo we saw, that lady's bed was gross.
yeah, she had a whole bunch
was
of
really
she had a whole
nasty.
bunch of like mites on it, right? Is that
Well, the dust mites
mites-
are normal in your bed, but
Okay.
you know.
They had a whole bunch of other stuff.
It
So
was
now
just
this is
gross.
like a picture of this. This is a Roomba device, right? So it looks like a Roomba. It's a smaller version that you would normally have on your floor I mean, Mike has one of these at his house to
do.
clean
Yeah.
I have 2 of these at our house to clean the area, but you set this on your bed. So the first question I have, how does it know to stay on the bed? Is it just going to fall off or what goes on to protect it for staying on the bed?
So first of all, you can actually program in the size of your bed. So if you have, a queen size bed, obviously it's going to move in different patterns than a twin size bed. But on top of that, it also has a sensor at the front of the vacuum so that when it gets to that kind of dip at the very side of the bed, it knows to back off.
Okay. All right. So how much does this
It has a
cost?
mercury switch.
Is it?
Exactly.
It has a mercury switch.
Okay.
Oh my god.
How much does it cost? How many backers and how many days do we have to go to get one of these?
All right. So basic
And how
numbers.
big is it? How big is it first? How big? Is it huge? Is it half the
It's-
size of a Roomba? How big?
It's about a third of the size of a Roomba, honestly. It's
Okay.
easy to pick up. It's going to be relatively easy to move around to different beds if you've got, a guest room or children's rooms, anything like that. You can use it, set it up. You can actually have it programmed for multiple beds, which I thought was really nice.
Okay.
So you can tell it which bed it's on. And
Okay.
it just goes.
Do you think you could travel with this?
You probably could. I mean, it would fit easily within a carry-on. It's just a
Okay.
matter of, do you want to actually heft it?
Oh, I know somebody who would take
Nathan
it
would
specific.
do. Nathan
Yeah, they would
would.
take it. So
Oh,
the
it's definitely going on vacation with Nathan. Yeah.
that's right. Okay, so again, how much does this cost? How many backers? How many days to go?
So right now we're looking at about 463 backers.
Okay.
It is open through March the 12th.
Okay.
And if you sign in and set it up to back the project today or tomorrow, so by the end of Valentine's Day, it's actually $150.
Okay, $150. That's pretty
Yep.
cheap for one of the Roombas. They're like $300.
That's about a third of the price of a Roomba.
Yeah, so
And
okay.
it's a
so-
third of the size, so it works.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
But if you aren't able to get it by the end of tomorrow, the early bird pledge is still only 200, which is not bad given what you're getting.
Okay. Now, a little bit about this company. How many campaigns have they done? Do we know where the company is based out of?
This is their first campaign. They're
Okay.
based out of LA, so just down the road from us, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, they are partnering with a bunch of the Kickstarter regulars that tend to lean towards being a good sign.
A good sign. Okay, that's good. Because
Yeah.
you never want to back into a Kickstarter and buy a boxing event for a VR
Well, you would
goggles
know.
and,
You
and
would
still
know,
be waiting
king of
4
the
years. 4 years
king
later
of the
for that.
Kickstarter supporters.
I'm just saying
man.
DeLorean. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly.
There's all kinds. Did you ever get the?
No, I did not. I got
Yeah, see,
I got
don't even have to
automated.
fill it. I don't even have to fill it. No,
That's
I
it.
didn't get it.
We may have to do this, just do a list one month where we say all of the things that you have received and all of the things that you haven't received. and
You know what? I'll promise to have that for you next time.
I think
Because
that'd
there's
be
like a
fun.
game that I have.
He got
Because then
the
I'm backer
robot.
kit.
He got the little
Yeah,
robot. pet.
I like my
That's
Luma.
true.
So I got my Luma robot. I like that a lot. I've gotten a couple other items that have come through in Kickstarter, but it
But
does.
you didn't get your go karts.
I did get my flipper device, and you know what? I'm going to be talking about that flipper device a little later in today's
you
show.
might get a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about that. All right, Gwen. Anything else we need to know about this? Where can I find this on Kickstarter?
Go to Kickstarter, search for the X1, just the letter X, the number 1 robot bed vacuum. It's easy to find, and actually it's on the front page today. So if you are listening to this in real time on February 13th, you can probably just hop on and click on the picture right at the front.
All right, my last question, Gwen. Are
Yep.
you ordering one of these for yourself?
I may have already backed it. Yes.
You backed it? Okay. Because you have cats, right?
We've got 3 cats, and there's definitely cat hair everywhere. And it would be so nice to have this. It's also good for our guest room because we have friends and family who are allergic to cats.
Now they need to make one that's a little bit smaller than this that also does couches.
That
you
would be
get
beautiful.
you get that going, and then
There's your Kickstarter, buddy.
there's my Kickstarter. Okay, all right. Well, Gwen, thank you
Definitely
so much for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk with you about new items. Thank you for being a part.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that ends our gadgets and gear with Gwen Way. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so during our break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
What's new?
Join the fun and grab tickets to GeekFest West, the 3-day Geek Festival extravaganza of fun and entertainment that will take place on the 3rd weekend in July. Learn more at geekfest.com. GeekFest will feature diverse activities, including a film festival, vendor hall, street fair, outdoor music festival, cosmic cosplay, and video game tournaments. Join us at GeekFest West, the ultimate celebration of geek culture. To learn more, visit geekfest.com. That is geekfest.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. We're going to go all the way back to February 12th, 2001. Now, she was famous for tennis, but the Anna Kournikova virus was the biggest virus to hit in 2001. Now, Jan DeWitt sends out an email. This is all the emails came from Jan DeWitt. All right. Sends out an email stating that there's a picture of this famous tennis player, Anna Kournikova. Rather than this being a picture of the Russian tennis player known for her marketing duo of looks and tennis play, because she was ranked as high as 8 in the world singles and number 1 in doubles, it was a malicious script that tried to send itself to every address in the user's address email box. Now, this was only for Windows users. So if you had a Mac at the time, it wouldn't have been a big
This
issue.
is back in the day when Macs were
kind of the
gold.
Yeah, they were the gold at the time. The malware was so efficient that it was known to have spread twice as fast as the love bug virus that devastated corporate networks a year earlier. Now, the moral of the story is do not click on emails with attachment. But in the early days of email and internet attachments, viruses were a real problem, and we had no real safeguards in place.
Okay, so has any of that changed? Since
Well,
it's been 20.
So this would never work today.
23
Yes.
years.
Well, so again, it was kind of this misleading deal. You thought you were going to see a picture of Anna Kournikova. She was all on the news.
Yes,
She was
I
in
know.
every
I know.
ad at the time, type of deal. And what this did is now viruses destroy your machines. They encrypt your machines. They make a ransomware. What this did is this was all about just taking down networks at the time. So it would open up your email list and then send everybody this additional attachment. But then if they opened it up, they would send it to everybody in their email list.
This was
and
a
it was
worm, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
what
what
you
they
call
call
a worm.
It was a worm with no real destructive ability other than taking down networks at that time that they didn't have the ability of shutting off certain ports. So that it would
And
essentially
here we are in 2024.
Yep.
And people still click on links.
They still do.
And they still get
viruses. And you know what? If you sent a link out like this today, you'd probably, out of 1,000 people, I bet you'd get 10% of people to click on it.
I bet you it would do just as well, as long as you use somebody that's current in the media right now.
Yep, that's right. That was, you could do like a Taylor Swift and boom, it'd be all over there. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to talk some tech time history or watch old recorded shows, well, with over 180 weekly broadcasts spanning 4+ years of video podcasts and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us live, and Gwen's on there, so you can ask questions. This is your free IT support. If you want free IT support, sign up for Tech Timers Facebook group. Ask us technology questions. We'll answer them. Forget going to Geek Squad or one of these places and paying $200 to $300. Ask us live at Tech Timers on the Facebook group. All right. When we return from this break, we have Mark's Mumbles Whiskey Review. See you in a bit.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right, gentlemen. Today is February 13th.
All right. Do you know what that is? That's my parents' anniversary.
Well, happy anniversary,
Mom
the
and Dad.
mums.
There you go. That's right.
Otherwise, what is it?
Well, besides being Fat Tuesday
Get
today,
ready to be disappointed day.
But what your parents can do is celebrate National Cheddar Day.
Cheddar, like the cheese.
Yes.
Oh, this is a great day then.
Anniversary gift.
Okay.
Now, not just because of Nathan, but today is a very cheesy day.
Oh.
Created by the Tillamook County Creamery Cooperation. Whew, that's a mouthful. Located in Oregon. This day celebrates the amazing cheese type called cheddar and all its edible products. Cheddar cheese hails from the actual city of Cheddar in Somerset, South England.
Hey,
did you know that?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Okay.
Is
it related to tomorrow's whatever?
Isn't everything's better with cheddar, right? Isn't that the commercial? Everything's better with cheddar.
Everything's better with cheddar.
That's right.
Okay.
No, it's not related to tomorrow that I know of, Mike.
Well, cheese. There's a lot of cheese going on today. So.
Oh, there you go. I get you.
Curious. I should have said not just because of Nathan and Mike. Today is a very cheesy day. All right. Well, as we celebrate all types of cheddar, and the most common in the U.S. is colored yellow, we are drinking Yellowstone Limited Edition Bourbon 2023, finished in Tokai casks.
Not related to the television program.
No. Now, Tokai, if you're wondering, is a region in Hungary noted for its sweet wines. Now, this sweet wine is sometimes referred to as the nectar of the gods and I would completely agree with that statement. The nectar coming from the grapes of Tokai is also mentioned in the national anthem of Hungary. That's how important it is to them.
Okay.
My favorite all-time dessert wine. Now, Yellowstone bourbon borrows its moniker from America's first national park.
Oh, there's where we get it from.
Not Yellowstone show.
There we go. Okay.
Are you going to act surprised?
Well, I didn't know. It could have been, the
I didn't
Paramount
even know
Plus
there was a
show or
park out
something
there.
like that. Okay.
So
all right.
the company donates a portion of Yellowstone bourbon's proceeds to the National Park Conservation Association. This independent, nonpartisan organization is devoted to nurturing America's national parks for future generations. Now, as most listeners know, I'm generally not a fan of finished bourbon. This is an exception. I've really enjoyed this expression, though I am quite biased, as Tokai, as I mentioned, is one of my favorite drinks. So I love it finished in this.
This is good.
Cast.
This is good. Mike's already finished his. I'll finish mine at the next break that we get. I am enjoying this immensely. You know what? I like it that it didn't have the bite. I mean, that's kind of the key to me. If it doesn't have a bite to start out with, then you can immediately just sip it, and then you forget how much you've sipped, and it's perfectly.
Is that your goal?
That's kind of, well, not that
forget how much you've sipped.
No, not necessarily. But okay, you know what, Mike? We're going to now get ready for our technology fail. But before we have our pairing, like whiskey and technology, nothing's better than pairing of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Oh my God!
Cheese. There's our cheese. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Oh, there you go.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure. Oh. I failed, did I? Yes. Did I? Yes. Did I? Yes.
All right, we're going to go right into our technology fail. It comes to us from Bank of America. Do you bank with Bank of America?
Nope.
Oh, well, if you did, guess what? All your information's available. Odie, do you bank with Bank of America? Oh, congrats.
Yeah, I was a little scared when you opened up with that at the beginning of the show.
Oh, well, let's talk
Guess
about
what?
this. Bank of America is warning customers of a data breach, exposing their personal information. After Infosys McCamish Systems, IMS, one of its service providers, was hacked last year. So they've already had this information for a year. Customers' personal identification. Yep, for a whole year, and they just finally announced it today.
I'm beginning to wonder.
So this is what happens. It was all available for scammers to have for
I'm beginning
a
to
year.
wonder if there's some way that people can hold these companies accountable so that they put more.
Are you saying we should get rid of banks?
No,
Well,
I'm
no,
not saying
but
we
we
should get.
should hold them- we should hold them-
I'm saying that we cover so many of these hacks every freaking time.
Yep.
That all they do is get this statement out and be like, "Oh, we're sorry."
Well, they
it's super
service
delayed.
69 million clients, 3,800 retail financial centers, and approximately 15,000 ATMs
I would
in the
leave that
United
bank.
States and more than 35 countries.
I would leave that bank
So
in a
now,
heartbeat.
what's interesting is that Bank of America still hasn't said too much about the information on this breach. But according to the Attorney General of Texas, who is actually a part of this Security Breach Informative Act, it included names, addresses, social security numbers, dates of birth, financial information, including account and credit card numbers.
I'm
in the
thinking
details.
Wild West justice. They should just sue this company into the ground as an example to anybody else that allows their security systems to be hacked.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's very much interesting as Bank of America has yet to disclose how many customers were impacted by the data breach. An IMS breach notification letter filed with the Attorney General of Maine on behalf of Bank of America revealed that a total of 57,000 plus people were directly impacted. So here's what happens. The Bank of America still hasn't come on out and said what was done. They actually have to file stuff. So if you actually go and take a look at the attorney generals of every state, that's how you actually find security breaches now, because no one announces it. They actually give you the information of what you got taken care of. So Odie, I bet you know what? Afterwards, we should do a little dark web search down at our restaurant spot and see if I can buy your credit information from Bank of America for less than $1.
Be my guest.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
All right.
What bank are you going to use next?
I'm gonna stick with them, but
See, that's
Why?
what, see,
it
that's,
literally
that's our
does not
problem.
matter though.
That's
I could jump on over to any bank in the world, and it's always gonna get hacked.
You can
Look,
look at it that way.
There's medical records that have been hacked. There's banks that have been hacked.
Your
Facebook,
taxes.
So
I mean,
you're gonna
the
take
government,
you're gonna take the I'm helpless to do anything response.
No, I'm gonna take the. I'm not gonna give
I'm
a
just
care
gonna
in the
be like,
world.
there you go.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What?
I mean, everybody's stuff is out there anyway, so I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Oh, boo-hoo.
But I really think there should be something that can be done to get companies.
There should be.
You know what? I
pay
think
more
you should be
attention.
the front man for that.
You should be.
No, I just yell about
Let's start a
stuff.
revolution.
So you could be the
like-
Gourdet. The
Yeah.
Gourdet Grouches.
Ooh.
That's he's got a good
The
name.
Gourdet Grouches.
Yeah.
And so all they
Okay.
do is
Partner with Sesame Street.
Yeah, and then you could have.
I can get Elmo, and he can be my local therapist.
So you could be there, and then everybody gets to be a part of that.
Oh, okay.
I'm signing up for it. I'm gonna take
And
that
Oscar.
domain right now.
I think-
Oscar the Grouch and Mike Gourdet
Yeah, I
teaming
think
together against hackers.
I think every state in the union should sue Bank of America.
I do. That's how you do it.
For
Each of
half
the
of the
commensurate.
profits that they earn in a financial
You
year.
should actually run on this.
Yeah, get up on it.
Heck,
Maybe that's gonna.
I'll
Yeah,
be
that'll
your
be
no,
my
I'm
backer.
serious.
platform.
This is
Okay.
it. This is your
That's
side
gonna
hustle.
be my purpose in life
Yes.
is to take down the banking system.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I don't know what it is, but I do know now. It's time for Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Oh wow.
This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
Are we gonna
All
talk
right.
more about banks?
Well, no, we're gonna go move right into the hotel industries now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we got Mastro PMS unveils. That's the name of the
Maestro.
company. Mastro.
Maestro.
Well, they said it was Mastro on all the stuff that I listened to.
You listened to the Google translation?
No, I didn't listen. I listened to it on other news reports. So it was called Mastro. So-
Maestro.
Maestro. Okay.
Yeah.
Maestro.
Maestro.
Okay. PMS unveils hotel technology roadmap featuring AI chatbots, booking engines, and embedded payments. Essentially, President Warren Dean says that mobile tools such as check-in and check-out, digital room keys, digital concierge service, workflow automation, digital payments, and even robotics are positively impacting loyalty in many ways. These are essentially tools that are generated by AI and technology to help the human experience when you check into a hotel to never engage with a human. How do you feel about this?
How do I feel about this, or
Yeah.
what is the problem with this?
Well, how do you feel about this? So essentially, you can check into a hotel.
So if I come at this as a consumer,
Yeah.
These are things that I have been taught, and so I've learned to expect instant gratification on.
Okay.
All right. So if I want to go into a hotel, I want to be able to book that hotel really quickly because that's what they're telling me I can do.
Okay.
And that's what I expect.
So now your app can go up and you can
So
check in.
So using apps, I could do all these things that I couldn't do unless I was there at the hotel.
Yep.
Okay. As somebody who studies human behavior and the way this stuff affects stuff, we are depersonalizing a lot of the systems involved in these types of activities.
Okay.
And we are dehumanizing those positions that require this. Like a concierge
Yeah.
is supposed to be not only somebody who can point you in directions that you may want to go, like points of interest, but they're also supposed to be able to connect with you on a human level, which these things cannot.
Okay.
And
But do you
from
personally?
that
Do you
aspect-
like it as a consumer? Because I kind of like it.
That's
I don't
the
have to talk.
This is the problem that we're faced with.
Okay.
As a selfish human being, yeah, I like it.
They do.
I want what I want when I want it.
and I can just go right up
Right.
to my room. I don't even have to get that
So-
free cookie at the registration.
That's right. So as a selfish human being, I this is good for me.
Okay.
Me. That's
Okay.
this is the problem. It's me.
Okay.
Okay. But what about if the industry? What about the person that gets fired because they've replaced this? That person now has been dehumanized by a piece of machinery that's automated to do their job. And as a person who has a job, in America, not specifically, but particularly, my job is part of my identity.
So you're
So if I
conflicted.
have something that comes into that's created by somebody that takes over my job,
Yeah.
I have just lost a part of my identity.
Okay. So you're
there's a
conflicted,
problem.
right? So you're
I'm always conflicted.
Okay,
You
'cause
tell-
you-
I talk about this stuff all the time.
because you would rather
And
have
you
it.
get upset at me because
no.
you're just being a negative
No,
Nancy.
no. I'm
Okay,
not.
But
I'm not
the
upset
problem
with you.
is that as a consumer, there's a difference with human beings. There's a consumer part of me that wants what I want when I want it because that's what I've come to expect. Like I was talking about this morning. You know, when I go to my office in the morning, I use my mobile app to get my coffee purchased.
Yep.
So when I get there,
It's already on the counter.
It's waiting for me.
You don't have to talk to anybody.
And then when I get there and it's not waiting for me, I get upset about it.
Okay.
Because I've missed that expectation.
Okay.
And that's one of the problems that these are generating is that they're generating expectations that well, they can fail.
Okay. All right. Well, let's now. We got some interesting topic here next
What's that?
On the Nathan Nugget. Let's go there.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right. So we're going to be talking about the Flipper Zero. This was one of the events that I actually did get on.
Let's talk about
Kickstarter.
the Flipper.
Okay. It's best known as a hacking and penetration testing device. We can do a lot more with
Let's
the
talk
Flipper.
about your original Flipper.
Okay. So my original Flipper is gone. I've purchased a second one.
What happened to your first one?
Well, it got taken from security.
It got
Now,
confiscated.
think of your Flipper as a device that can hack into your smart blender, your toothbrush, or even change the channels of TVs in a local bar.
Okay.
Have you seen that happen with the Flipper?
I saw you demonstrate the Flipper when you first got it.
Okay. All right. But
and
guess
it worked
what?
some of the time and it didn't work in other times.
That's
But
right. That's right.
my question comes to why do we have smart toothbrushes
Well,
that you can hack into?
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Last year, the Flipper device launched its own app store, accessibility tools and mobile tools. Now, though, for $49, you can actually add it as a game module unit and turn the Flipper into a standalone device that essentially is like a Wii remote that can be triggered with hand motion and other trigger events remotely.
So you can use your Flipper to play games?
So you can play
Or
video games.
Can you hack stuff with motions with your hand?
Well, you could actually have it in so that it actually can track your motions of the Flipper. So maybe all of a sudden you wanted to change the channel up. You could just raise your hand up and all of a sudden, boom, the channel goes up. You put your hand down and all of a sudden the channel goes down.
What your real interest is this, if you had this available to you when you had your original Flipper, it probably wouldn't have gotten confiscated.
Well, maybe not. But you can purchase the Flipper and the video game add-on at shop.zipper0.1. Now, if it comes up with a warning on the website, just proceed on with caution because it does have an IP address of out of the United States to sell this device. But you can now turn your Flipper device that you got on Kickstarter on our gadgets and gear.
That's a little
video game add-on.
That's a little convoluted there, don't you think?
What's that?
So you're buying a hacking tool from a country outside of America that's probably using your information that you provide to buy that hacking tool to hack into other things that they need to get hacking information.
Well,
for
it
you to
comes out of
provide by
Japan.
the Flipper.
Comes out of Japan, so I'm okay with them getting my information.
You're okay with them getting
Yeah,
it? Okay.
that's okay. That's
Well, we all know about your cool idea about China and other countries getting your information is better than the U.S. getting.
Well, I do. You know what? Everybody talks about TikTok as this horrible. Let's talk about that. Joe Biden now decided that he's going to jump on TikTok.
I don't care about.
All right, now what
Joe
the heck
Biden
is that? So he decides to jump on. He says
I don't
that
care what he does.
He's going to be shutting this thing down, and then he decides for his campaign to start running on it.
You know, I recall some other people saying they're going to shut TikTok down, and it didn't happen. So
Okay, that's
whatever.
Right. Well, now let's move to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
Well, what bubbles up first, we had a comment, so I'm going to have to say, you're welcome, Mr. Bowen.
Oh, you had a comment?
A comment we did. He said, thank you.
Well, what was the comment?
He said, thank you to me.
Okay. Well, thank you. All right, fantastic.
So you're welcome.
Okay.
So what we are drinking today is Yellowstone Limited Edition Bourbon 2023, which is finished in Tokai casks. It is from Limestone Branch, undisclosed distillery, straight bourbon, blend of 7, 13, 16 years, 101 proof, and it's $100. What do you guys think?
Oh,
I don't think we have to worry about it.
This is awesome. This is a good good stuff. This
This is
stuff
something that I'll add to my cabinet.
Yeah, this is something I'll add to my cabinet too, even at the price point that it is. I just need to make sure you buy it so that I don't have
Wow,
to pay the
Nathan
aftermarket.
must really love
I'm
it.
just gonna go.
I don't spend more than 50
Well,
bucks on one.
Nathan knows a black market dealer that can get them.
We'll be looking at the black
Mark,
market for Odie's information.
We need a black market deal on
and-
this whiskey.
and all of that. All right, no. We just tease. We don't go do black market stuff.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Okay, all right. Well, we want to
Mr.
thank our
Flipper.
listeners for joining the program. Listeners, we want to hear from you. You can always join us and visit techtimeradio.com and click on the Be a Caller up in the top right-hand corner, and they can leave us a voice message about a technical question. We'll put it on the air for sure. You can always connect with us online also. Thank you so much. And remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.